to New Day Cleveland. I'm Natalie Herbick. Another exciting show planned for you here in Playhouse Square. Why? Because it's the 2016-2017 KeyBank Broadway Series Season on Sale show. So that means after the hour, you'll be able to purchase your tickets for the season. We're going to give you a little preview of what you can expect, plus another place to go and dine down here at Playhouse Square, maybe do a little pampering at another location. And we're talking a little bit more about that show that everyone has been raving about. I'll give you a hint. It begins with an H. It all starts right now with our first show.
My dad and I were exactly alike. I see everything. Caption: my dad and I were nothing alike.
Fun Home is this beautiful musical that it's a memory play, basically. So it is based on Alison Bechdel's graphic novel. And what we do is we meet her in 3 stages of her life. We meet a young Alison who is living at home with her family in Pennsylvania. Her father, Bruce, is the operator of the Bechdel Funeral Home. The kids call it the Fun Home, thus the title of the show. So we meet Alison at that stage. We meet Alison as a 19-year-old at Oberlin College. And she is discovering her sexual realities of who she is, and that really is expressed beautifully through a song named I'm Changing My Major to Joan. And then we see her as an adult, as the cartoonist who is really looking back on her life, and particularly her relationship with her father. And to me, the most poignant thing about this is that when we think about the relationships in our lives, we think that the most mysterious ones, for some reason, are our parents. More so than our siblings, more so than our best friends, we can spend our lives trying to figure our parents out, which is interesting, and it's beautiful to see how she does that within this musical. It is an intimate story. You feel like you are in the room with this family. You are in with her thoughts. You, as an artist, you know, if there's a composer at the piano, you are hearing from the composer what is happening in their mind. For an artist, and that's who she is, as a visual artist, you're seeing that creation. She is drawing out the sketches of her life for us to see and to share. And she didn't intend to do that. It was just a process that she had gone through as an adult. So to be able to share her life with us in this beautiful way, I think is just going to blow audiences away. It really is about life. It's about the things that we glean from life and how you take those good and bad. All of it puts its fingerprints on us in life, and with that, we create and become productive citizens in this world, and really see that what Alison has done with her life and with this story.
I know you. I know you.
There are so many great shows this upcoming season for you to bring the family along to, but there are certain ones that are geared specifically for the kids, and that's what we're here to talk about right now. Daniel, I know that the children's theater series is going to be spectacular this season.
It's so true. You know, we have brought some wonderful plays from all over the world here to share with our community. And if you have any children in your family in that precious 3 to 8-year-old range, you know, they grow up so quick.
It's true.
But this demographic is just perfect for our children's theater series, and you really can't beat the price at 4 tickets for $40 to subscribe to this. It's
You're
really
not going to
unbeatable.
find different activities and events to take the family to that you'll get at that price.
No, that's right. And we really can only do it because University Hospitals, Rainbow Babies and Children are really wonderful partners and supporters of this kind of work.
It's so great for the kids. They learn so much. You're putting them in a theater environment. What's the first show that they're going to be able to see?
Well, the opening show this season is a beautiful one called Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters. And it's a take on the Cinderella tale. It's actually an African folk tale from Zimbabwe. And it's beautiful. It is so lush. It's a wonderful story told with music and movement as dance and wonderful acting from this children's theater company. We actually have a sensory-friendly performance for students who come to our matinees. Kids on the autism spectrum are welcome to this show. And it's just such a vibrant take on this. 2 beautiful daughters. One is beautiful on the inside as well as the outside. One is a little deceiving on the inside, so we see who's going to be the queen of the new kingdom with this show.
So there's interesting tales to be told and lessons to be learned during these. What's the second show?
Well, the second show is another wonderful one. It's called Brown Bear, based on the famous book by Eric Carle. And this is actually the 50th anniversary, if you can believe it, of that beloved children's book. Wow. Yeah, and kids know this book, they know it so well, and this wonderful company, Mermaid Theatre of Nova Scotia, are so beautiful in their artistry. They create these puppets to tell this story and have them lit under glowing light so that they really pop and come alive on the stage for these kids. It's actually the very first children's book that Eric Carle ever did illustrations for, and it launched his career, and you can see why in this story.
Wow. That's amazing. And it seems like they're always interactive in a way, one way or another,
They
with
really
these
are.
shows.
I mean, with these children's shows, at the end of that show, for example, the puppeteers come out in typical light, not just the dark light, so that the kids can see and ask them questions after the show about, what's your favorite puppet, or how did you make this move, or there was only 2 of you doing all these movements. It's really educational.
That's wonderful. What about the third?
Well, the third show is one of those where you bring something back by popular demand because the audience just demands it. That's the case with Lightwire Theater and Playhouse Square, a wonderful production called Dino Light, which has electroluminescent wire around these actors and dancers, really, their costumes. So they have these giant dinosaurs that take up the whole height of the Ohio Theater proscenium stage. It's really magnificent. And they have wonderful music underscoring it. They do terrific movement. And again, as you mentioned, interactive. After the show, they come out in the typical light so that if someone might have been a little startled by this giant T-Rex, they see it's really just an actor and a puppet in the real light of day.
That's wonderful. I do remember us talking about this before. It is so back by popular demand.
It really is.
And what about the last?
Well, the last one is a beautiful play from Australia. A theater company named Patch is doing this show called The Moon's a Balloon. And it's the 2 characters have this adventure where they discover balloons of all shapes and sizes, lit with all kinds of beautiful light, and it's about imaginative play. The story actually was inspired by a poem by E.E. Cummings called The Moon's a Balloon in the poem itself. And so these artists have taken that literary background and created a whole imaginative world around it that's just going to delight families and children.
Well, you hear all of those amazing things. You talk about the fact that you would spend more at a movie theater to go see a movie than to come to the theater, and why not expose them at such a young age to the theater? It's especially when we're here in Cleveland, where theater is so rich.
It's wonderful. You just go to the website, theplayhousesquare.org, you touch the education button, and it opens up a whole world for our families.
Love this. Bring out the kiddos, that's for sure.
That's right.
We're gonna have much more from our season on sale show when we come back.
Welcome back to New Day Cleveland, our very special show, Playhouse Square Season on Sale. And we're just minutes away from your opportunity to buy tickets for individual shows. And one you do not want to miss is Finding Neverland.
Finding Neverland. Audiences are going to be delighted, actually, to learn the backstory to Peter Pan. So this is J.M. Barrie's story of how he was feeling disconnected from his family. He was having writer's block. He was in Kensington Gardens in London in the 1900s, and he comes upon this widow and her boys who are playing pirates. They are doing that as a way to deal with the loss of their father and to find joy in this life. And Barrie gets swept up in that, creates a friendship with their mother, a relationship with the boys. He is learning through their play about how you deal with loss in life, and that becomes the basis for his best known work, Peter Pan. So it is beautifully written. It is a fully realized gloriously staged show with sets and special effects that are going to just dazzle your eye. But what is really wonderful is like the lush score, the storytelling, which is so beautifully told about his struggle as a writer. He has writer's block. In some ways he's sort of blocked socially because he and his wife aren't getting along. He finds this platonic relationship with this widow and her family, and that leads him to open up a world that he didn't know was there, and brings him to write his most renowned work, Peter Pan. So this is the precursor to that. It is a wonderful family story. It's a story that celebrates imagination. It celebrates survival. It celebrates looking for play, looking for joy that you really can only see in the world of live theater. It'll be right here at the Connor Palace this November.
Okay, things are cooking here at Raving Med, and I'll tell you what, a Playhouse Square season on sale show wouldn't be complete unless we showed you what's new at Playhouse Square. So, Jules, this is it. It's called Raving Med, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, Raving Med, is that like raving medicine? Raving?
Good question. It's actually Raving Mediterranean is the full expansion there. It's Mediterranean street food.
Mediterranean street food. So, I saw this young lady just drop something in the fryer. What was that?
So that's our house-made falafel. It's made from scratch daily. It has onions, carrots, zucchini, as well as your typical chickpea that forms your falafel.
So what's your experience with falafel for people who think they only like hot dogs and hamburgers and that sort of thing?
Sure, falafel is a wonderful substitute for any sort of meat. It's great for vegetarians, clearly.
Your husband likes it.
My husband loves it. He's a meat and potatoes kind of guy. He had it once and he's addicted. He absolutely adores it.
I've had it and I like it a lot. So these young ladies are ordering something here.
Sure.
So what are they putting together here?
So we're doing a bowl for these ladies today. I'm not sure.
So they're not going to get the pita bread then?
No, they're not going to have a pita, but they are going to have a bowl. Ladies, are you having chicken shawarma?
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, so some of the stuff has falafel. Now we're talking about chicken shawarma.
That's correct.
So that's going to go on there too. What are some of the toppings here?
Absolutely. So everything is made in-house, fresh daily. So we have baba ganoush, we've got our hummus, we've got...
What's baba ganoush?
Baba ganoush is a good question. It's just like a hummus, but it's made out of out of eggplant instead of chickpea.
Oh yeah, roasted eggplant.
Yes,
roasted
and it's
eggplant.
wonderful.
I love hummus.
It's very good for you too.
I like baba ganoush. What's that?
So that is a basil and tomato mixture. Then we also have roasted red peppers with pickled beets, pickled carrots, pickled onions. We have a savory eggplant Israeli salad, which is tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchinis all mixed together, a little bit of onion. Everything is...
It looks delicious.
Oh, thank you.
You know what? I've had some of this food before. Like, I'm playing a little dumb here, but I want to tell people that this is some of the best tasting food in terms of the spices, the textures.
Absolutely.
Like the sweetness, the tartness.
Absolutely. You can get it all any way you want it, and everything goes together beautifully. So it doesn't matter what you put on your bowl or your salad or your falafel.
So this food is a lot like the stuff you'd see vendors have then in the streets of the Mediterranean area.
100% correct. So our concept here is basically based off of a falafel shop concept, which you'll find anywhere in the Mediterranean region, so anywhere from Israel to Turkey to Lebanon. There's ham in there, there's hot dogs and pizza here.
Okay, so here comes the falafel. So it's like little balls, and then what do you do?
Yes.
You break it up and put it in there?
No, it's actually put in whole, so it offers a really nice crunch on the outside. So we're going to pass that over to Miss Genova.
There you go. And I see some crazy French fries here too.
Yes, absolutely. So we have house-cut French fries that are also made in-house. They are crispy, salty, and wonderful.
That's terrific. Well, there you go. It's starting to happen. And those little French fries can go in there too
They
sometime.
sure can. You can stuff French fries into anything that we make.
This is what I love so much. It reminds me of the Euro style kind of making.
Absolutely. It's just like a gyro, except that we have chicken and turkey, and we actually use the thigh meat from both birds. And they're marinated overnight and then cooked on the rotisserie as you're seeing it, and then we cut it fresh for you as you order it.
Wow, so as it turns, it makes it that outside crispy and caramelized
so
a
it
little
has a
bit.
wonderful caramelization on the outside, a little bit of crunch to brighten up whatever it is that you're eating.
I just love that. So that's going to go in a pita or on a bowl?
That's correct. So I believe this young lady actually behind us, we have the salads in the bowl. They're coming through, and that's what Kendall is currently cutting the chicken for.
And what's Kendall got right next to him? What's the one that's not being cut yet?
Directly next to that is our turkey shawarma.
Turkey?
Yes.
How great is that?
Yeah, so you have an option of 2 birds.
I love it.
All right.
Raving Med, and it's Mediterranean street food, and it's right on the corner of what here?
17th and Euclid.
17th and Euclid. And
That's
guess
right.
what? That's in Playhouse Square. And you know what's coming up after the break? More show from Playhouse Square.
Welcome back to our season on sale show. For this next performance, we're not only taking you into Playhouse Square, we're taking you into the woods.
Once upon a time, in a far-off kingdom.
The story of Into the Woods centers on a baker and his wife who are childless, and they discover they're childless because of a curse that has been placed upon them by the witch who lives next door. And in order to break that curse, they have to come up with a cow as white as milk, a cape as red as blood, hair as golden as corn, and a slipper as pure as gold. And so in order to do that, they then meet the characters from the fairy tales that we know. Jack and the Beanstalk, the Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, and Cinderella. So we see all of those characters in this imaginative way converge in this story, and how their lives converge, and how they have to go into the woods, which is really about going into life. You know, you wish for something. They're all wishing to go to the ball, to attend the festival, to have the children, to have the golden harp, all of the things that we want and wish in our lives. And then comes life. And you can get your wishes, and wishes can come true, but there can be a price to pay for it. So this is a wonderful musical. It may not be the musical for young children because it is a little dark in the storytelling, so you'll need to decide about that for audiences, but it really celebrates the power of imagination and the realities of life, and it tells this story in an unapologetic way. So it doesn't try to sweeten it where everybody ends happy, where every wish comes true in a glorious way. It's about the reality of what happens. You know, you can wish and wish for something, and it's great to have those aspirations in our lives, but we have to think about the reality, we have to think about choices. What I love so much about this story and the way it's told is that on stage are 10 actors and a piano and the set. And we see how the actors, in a very imaginative way, create the journey into and out of the woods. Audiences are going to love it. They need to think about this in the same way they think about Chicago, right? Because Chicago, we love it so much because now we see it in a way that we can focus on the lyric and the music and the text, and that's going to be delivered in a loving way with this production of Into the Woods. I can't wait for audiences to see it.
Into the Woods, just one of the many great shows you'll be able to catch here during this season at Playhouse Square. Now, before you head down to a show, you could also pamper yourself, and I love the sound of this. We have Lavender Nail Bar and Studio that's right here in Playhouse Square. Gwennae, I just want to say thank you for bringing something like this down here, and it's not just for the ladies, it can be for the men too.
Absolutely. We have a gentleman's massage here. We have a gentleman's manicure, so this is a great place to come for both men and women.
So let's break it down, starting with clearly it's a nail bar, and we are sitting up at your beautiful nail bar. This place is gorgeous when you walk in. It's gorgeous, it catches your eye. If you haven't been in here yet, when you walk by, you're probably going to want to walk in just because of how pretty it is.
It's beautiful, and it's in keeping with Playhouse Square. It's very classic, very classy, so when you walk into Playhouse Square, this is what you expect.
You absolutely do. Now, we start with the nail bar. This is where women can come to get anything from regular manicures to
regular manicures to shellac, which we carry C&D products. We do acrylics as well. And we also use all of our natural products with your service, which is great.
They smell wonderful, let me tell you. I know there's some of them up behind us, so you have everything from soap to lotion,
soaps to lotions, body butters, body scrubs. We have 5 different scents, including our signature scent, which is lavender, Say Yes.
And you're absolutely going to want to say yes to all of these services that you offer. So
Yes.
we discussed the nails. You obviously do pedicures. You have a long list there of chairs for pedicures.
We do pedicures, we do massages, eyebrow threading and waxing, facials, chemical peels, and we sell Bare Minerals makeup. So everything is all in one house, so if you will. And it's just great that someone can come here and get completely made from head to toe.
I love it. So you come in, you get the nails, you get the pedicure, you can get a massage, you can get a facial if you'd like, and then you can get your makeup applied afterwards.
Absolutely, and be ready to go out and enjoy a show, go to dinner, and enjoy the nightlife downtown has to offer.
You know what I think? This sounds like a great gift idea for that man who would like to give his wife something great. Not only does he take her to a show, but he lets her go get pampered first at the spa.
For sure. It's a wonderful place to be. The atmosphere is very calming, hence the lavender name. And lately we've just been booking a lot of spa parties, bridal parties. People just want to come in and relax. Between 5 and 7 p.m. we have happy hour.
Oh, what does that entail?
I know, which is wonderful. All the things we love and enjoy after work. So you can come in, get your nails done, and enjoy a glass of wine. So
Now, can people also come say on their lunch break? Because I know this is this was an area I think that was lacking something like this, and there's a lot of people that work downtown that could come in then as well.
correct, absolutely. So this caters to the business community. On their lunch hour, they can certainly come in, get a manicure, and be out the door in a half an hour. We all are very busy, and downtown is a very hustle-bustle atmosphere. So individuals can come in to relax or get a quick fix on a fingernail and
Chip
be about
nail.
their day.
Yeah, we all get them, right?
We do.
Well, this can be your little piece of serenity in a very busy city. You come in here, it's your little escape and getaway, and then you can go again and see all the fabulous shows right here in Playhouse Square.
That's Lavender Nail Bar and Studio.
Gwyneth, thank you so much for having me. And
Thank you.
I think I'll sign up for a pedicure before I leave. Sound good? Okay.
Absolutely.
More shows when we come back.
I bet you're starting to get anxious about buying those tickets to the shows you want to see. Welcome back to New Day Cleveland. It is our very special show here at Playhouse Square, Season on Sale. And the show I'm going to talk about now is one I saw a long time ago. I was a kid, and the lead was played by Yul Brynner. Well, guess what? The show is new, it's fresh, and it's ready for you to buy. It's called The King and I.
I think what The King and I is going to offer visually for audiences is that sense of scene, that sense of journey, the large ship that brings Anna to meet the king and to be there with his children. The costuming is beautiful and luscious, but the centerpiece, the star of this show, without a doubt, is that fabulous Oscar and Hammerstein score, as it was intended to be heard with a full orchestra. And the songs that you know, Getting to Know You, and all of this wonderful music, that's going to be right here on stage at the Connor Palace. What's so interesting to see the story of The King and I is it reminds me of the story of Sound of Music, right? Here is this bombastic fellow who has this tribe of children and needs a woman, needs somebody to help him like arrange not just these children, but really to help him tap what's inside, to sort of break down that barrier. And it's a love story. It is tremendous romance, the great choreography, and the direction of Bart Scher, who really brings to life the vision that Rodgers and Hammerstein originally had to celebrate cultures. That's what it's about. You know, at the time that it came about, it was about the tension that existed between cultures and how you could, shall we dance, speaks to us as cultures on many levels, aside from just their relationship, but us as a world. That message actually still resonates today in the world we live in. So The King and I actually, I think, is as current and contemporary and needed in the American musical scene as any musical that could possibly be out there. Audiences will be delighted. It will be a wonderful night at the theater.
Okay, you say you want to see a good show, you want to see a good play? How about a great play? In fact, this one won Best Play, a Tony Award. You can't beat that, right? It's The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime.
The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime is a play that is going to blow people away. This is going to be the event this season that's going to surprise and delight audiences, and it's the show you'll want to come back to because you're going to be so surprised about what you see and experience. It's the story of this young boy, Christopher John Francis Boone. He says his entire name every time he is addressing. Although they don't identify it, you kind of assume that he is somewhere on the spectrum. And you have a chance to see inside of his mind as he works to resolve and solve problems. The play opens with the discovery of a neighbor's dog who is dead, and he works to solve the mystery of who killed Wellington. That's his goal in life. Then he discovers other things about what's happening with his family, what's happening with his dad, why did his mom leave, is she living, is she not? The scenery that you're going to see is like looking inside the circuit board. As Christopher explains himself, he says, I see everything. And when I see everything, I have to process all this information. And so you see how the circuitry of his brain works on stage. Unbelievable. It won the Tony Award. It's going to win your hearts. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime is going to be the play, the event that grabs audiences and surprises them, because I think most people won't know what they're in for. And what you're in for is the most beautifully staged, the most intimately articulated story about a young boy's discovery, his imagination, his sense and order of solving problems in his life. It comes to us from the National Theatre of Great Britain, the same people who brought us War Horse. So think of the artistry of War Horse and the story that you might have seen if you saw the movie A Beautiful Mind. You're going to see that on stage. It'll be an unforgettable night at Playhouse Square, I can guarantee it.
Well, I hope you have that pencil and paper working away because we have a lot of great stuff for you and a lot of great stuff still coming up in the show. So after the break, more from Playhouse Square.
Welcome back to our season on sale show here at Playhouse Square. You know, theater can often be a great escape from the reality of life, and this next show is sure to make you laugh until you buckle over. It's called Something Rotten.
So an actor is saying his lines, and then out of nowhere, he just starts singing.
Yeah! With song and dance and sweet romance.
Welcome to the Renaissance. Something Rotten is going to tell the story, this hilarious story of these two brothers, Nick and Nigel Bottom, who are writing a play in Renaissance England, and they are struggling to come up with something they think is going to make them fantastic writers. And so as they struggle for ideas, they go to see a soothsayer, and the soothsayer predicts that the thing audiences are going to love next is going to be this thing called a musical. And there's a whole parody. It is so irreverent because they do a whole parody of musicals and why musicals don't really make sense, but it's a musical. It's directed by Casey Nicholaw. So think about the irreverence and energy that you experienced with the Book of Mormon. Think about the surprise that you experienced with The Drowsy Chaperone. All Casey Nicholaw's work. You're going to see it all come to life right here in Something Rotten. It's a night out at the theater that's going to make you laugh. It takes a swipe at every musical out there, including the biggest writer of them all, William Shakespeare. One of the songs is I Hate Shakespeare. And you see that Nicholas and Nigel, they're brothers, they encounter William Shakespeare, and he is a character that's like Mick Jagger in the Rolling Stones. He's a rock star, especially in his own mind. And he's a rock star, however, who is like, you know, taking other people's ideas and other people's work and claiming it as his own. And here are these two unknown brothers who are just trying to make it big. What's so delightful about this is it's written by two brothers, Wayne and Carrie Kirkpatrick. And so this is actually somewhat autobiographical, as they both have had careers actually on stage and in Nashville as writers, and so this is their foray into the musical theater. You're going to find their humor refreshing. You're going to find it energetic. There's going to be a great game for you to see all the references to all of the musicals that you know. Something Rotten is going to put a spring in your step. The perfect show to see in April as we celebrate spring here in Cleveland, Ohio, because it's a night filled with comedy, dancing, singing, costumes, humor, and a night you won't forget.
Your starlet won't quit. Big hit musical.
I cannot wait to see that show. It's going to be hilarious, and after meeting the creators, I can only imagine how funny it's going to be. Our stomachs are going to be hurting when we're done with that, Daniel.
It's funny.
We're back here with Daniel to talk about something else that has become just an incredible thing that Playhouse Square is putting on, and that is the Dazzle Awards, specifically meant for the amazing high school kids who perform on stages all over Northeast Ohio.
It's so true. You know, it's a celebration of high school musical theater excellence, where we look at and showcase the best, most talented students who perform this art form throughout the entire region. So we have adjudicators going out to these schools in 7 counties. They're scoring Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Musical, and behind the scenes, the costumes and the scenic design and the orchestra, the chorus, the whole thing. And then the nominees, which we announce live on a special television show.
Called New Day Cleveland. So this is the first time that the kids are seeing their names pop up on the screen right now as nominees.
It's the first time I'm seeing their names
you're
pop up
seeing
on the screen. It's just
Those kids, this first year when we did it, were just lighting up social media as those nominees were announced. Just an incredible experience. And so then, once the nominees are announced, we put on a show. We bring in a Broadway director, Dan Connectus will be in town, with a professional music director, and these students perform on the Connor Palace stage a world-class award show featuring their own talent.
It's incredible to watch them out there on stage because you see how in love they are with what they do, the passion that they have. It brings just this renewed sense of, I think, just almost confidence in themselves.
It really does. You know, there are students who may not typically be celebrated or hear their names on the morning announcements, but when you get a Dazzle nomination and the principal is interrupting school to say, we are nominated for Best Costume, and then the students are going to the costume designer's locker between classes congratulating them, you know, these students are worth celebrating. Kids who excel in the arts and in High School Musical in particular, we provide wonderful educational experiences for them throughout the whole year for schools that are in this program. So let's say someone is coming to see Something Rotten. We'll have a master class with teaching artists from that show to work with these Best Actor and Best Actress nominees to help get them ready for the big award show and celebration. Because the 2 grand prize winners, of course, go on to New York City and make their Broadway debut on the Minskoff Theater at the Jimmy Awards for the National High School Musical Theater Awards. And the winners of that competition gets $10,000 scholarships, they get commercials, agents are in the house. It's a remarkable opportunity for Cleveland and Cleveland area talent to participate in a national program to recognize these kids.
It's so wonderful because you see sports and other things being awarded for students, and to give students who have such a passion for theater that same recognition and those same opportunities to really excel and provide themselves with a career in this field, it starts sometimes with something like this, and you're giving them that opportunity.
It does. You know, we have had students who have participated in this program who've thought, who were going to graduate and said, you know, maybe I should major in musical theater. Maybe I've got the talent. You know, there are kids whose lives are literally changed. When you take someone to New York City and they get coached by the person who played Phantom of the Opera on Broadway, or even for those students who are in other roles that aren't eligible to go to New York. Those students get an opportunity to be on the Connor Palace Broadway stage, to work with a Broadway director, to get feedback on your high school musical from adjudicators who are coming out and scoring it and sharing their feedback with you, to network with these other high school teachers who love musical theater. We have some really talented directors and educators in this community, and all they really needed was a showcase to celebrate their talent, and that's what we're providing.
I know when David and I were a part of that last year, to see that firsthand, it truly is an inspiring thing, and they blew you away. They really did, and so I can't wait to watch this unfold again this year.
It's going to be great to see it again.
All right, coming up next, more on the show that has everyone in Cleveland talking. You don't want to miss this when we come back.
Take a shot, and I am not throwing away my shots.
Welcome back to New Day Cleveland. It's our special show at Playhouse Square, season on sale. And Gina, I don't think we've ever met in an Irish pub before.
Well, not together, I don't think. But here we are at Parnell's.
Parnell's is a fabulous place, and they've enlarged it since I've been here too.
You know, actually they did such a great job enlarging this, because Declan, and what his vision is for this, is that you feel like all of this has just been sitting here waiting for you, and it's so much fun to see this place is just jumping all the time. They have a great patio, a wonderful selection of wines and beers, and it's a great addition to Playhouse Square and a part of the scene of coming to the theater.
It makes it even more fun. And speaking of expansions, you have a little expansion to talk about, a 3-week expansion?
We have a great expansion to talk about. Starting this season, the KeyBank Broadway series will now be 3-week engagements for all of these 7 shows, tours that are coming to Playhouse Square. So the season kicks off with Fun Home. It won the Tony Award, and they are coming here to launch the national tour. So we couldn't be prouder to have Fun Home, and all of the creators of that show are going to be here, living in Cleveland, working at the Connor Palace, putting this show together, rehearsing the cast to launch it out to the nation.
So it's a great way to start it. And this whole 3-week idea is perfect for people who, sometimes it's hard to keep up with the pace. So many good things, you don't want to miss it. So 3 weeks gives you more opportunity.
It gives you more opportunity, both in terms of dates, but it gives you great opportunity in terms of seat selection as well. So it opened up a whole new spectrum of seats for the audiences, because, you know, we have had, we've been so blessed. We have over 30,000 season ticket holders. Now this season we're already almost at 32,000. And so this 3rd week will give everyone a great opportunity to come down and be a part of the scene here at Playhouse Square.
Fantastic. Now I know the service is always good here at Parnell's, but I understand somehow, some way there's another waitress coming to town.
Well, you know, you have vision, because you can see now into the 17-18 season.
To the future.
To the future of the KeyBank Broadway series, because a year from now, we're going to be launching the national tour of Waitress, Sarah Bareilles' musical that just opened this past year on Broadway. It's fantastic.
No time now for thinking things like that. I got too much to do. Too much to do.
So we will open the season with Waitress, and then in that season is going to be Hamilton. That's going to be here.
What's Hamilton?
You've heard about that, right?
Oh, I think I have. That's another award-winning show.
It is a massively award-winning show. It's a brilliant piece and a great night at the theater. We couldn't be prouder to be a part of the launch out and roll out of that tour as well.
I'm laughing in the face of casualties and sorrow. For the first time I'm thinking past tomorrow.
We are looking to the future. You know, coming to Playhouse Square is a great thing to do for all those people and all of your viewers who want to be a part of Hamilton. What you should do is go to our website at playhousesquare.org/Hamilton, and there you can sign up, because you'll be among the first to know. As soon as we know, we can let you know about, you know, how to go about getting tickets. We're working through all those details right now.
So do attending the shows of this season have anything to do with being able to see Waitress or Hamilton?
Well, you know, it certainly will, because it won't be the only way, but we can tell you that the first in line
Oh, here it is.
are going to be our donors and our season ticket holders. So, you know, join in the fun this year. I mean, don't wait till next year. Join in this year. There's a lot going on. We go from Fun Home to Finding Neverland to Into the Woods, The King and I, Something Rotten. Of course, you know, An American in Paris, that beautiful, wonderful, romantic show. It's a great musical, and the play Curious Incident of the Dog. So there's a lot to see this season.
I like that. American in Paris. I think you've piqued my attention here. Maybe we should take a look.
Let's take a look. So American in Paris is actually pretty faithful to the movie. It came out in 1951, as you might remember. It was a great homage to dance. It introduced art to film in a new way, and it brings all of that artistry to a stage in such a beautiful way. It combines George and Ira Gershwin's fantastic score. It's music that the audiences will know. I've Got Rhythm, Embraceable You, and it's this romantic story about this fellow named Jerry Mulligan. It's post-World War II in Paris. He is a struggling artist trying to make his way, and his friend is a struggling composer. What he discovers is that they have a friend who has fallen in love with some mysterious woman in France, except it's the same woman that Jerry has fallen in love with. So thus the love triangle.
That she should care for me.
The dance that takes place with An American in Paris is sweeping, it's beautiful. Christopher Wheelding, who is the director choreographer, really brings a sense of movement and storytelling and artistry to the stage that is just fantastic. He himself actually is a former principal dancer for the New York City Ballet, so he brings an understanding where he can take dancers who can sing and act to tell the story, as opposed to finding actors, singers who can move. So you're really getting the essence of sort of those sweeping sounds and that fantastic score that the Gershwins created, and combining that with a romantic story, songs that you know, and something that will just make your heart beat at a faster rate when you see An American in Paris in Cleveland.
Beautiful Playhouse Square on sale now, and that's the message: on sale now. You've got a chance to get a little sample of what's happening here at Playhouse Square and a sample of the great entertainment coming your way, and you can buy it all now. Go to the website, get on the phone, come down here to the box office. It's for sale and you can get it now. For Natalie Herbeck, I'm David Moss, and we'll see you on the next New Day Cleveland.
You are door 7 upstairs into your lounge. Okay, great. Enjoy.